Hello all, welcome back to Be a Creative. We're working on tag number 5 in our 8 Crazy Tag series. This tag is special. This is a throwback, a silent nod, if you will, to one of the first abstract pieces that I ever painted on canvas. About 3 years ago, I stumbled across this woman's YouTube channel and she demonstrated how to do this, only just on a much larger scale because it was a canvas, like I said. Anyway, up until this point, I had only ever worked with charcoal and pencil. I had never really done much with color, and it was like this whole new world opened up to me. It was just amazing. So you guys know that I always like to give credit to the people and the things that inspire me. I tried so hard to find that woman's channel because I'm basically mimicking the canvas that I did all those years ago from watching her tutorial. Unfortunately, I was not able to find it. So with that being said, huge thank you to Unknown YouTube Artist for yet again continuing to inspire me after all these years. I started with a tag that I gessoed, and I have some Dina Wakley acrylic paint. I am basically just putting down blobs of color, but there is kind of like a formula to it. I started with ocean, and now I'm going in with some olive. The trick to pulling this off successfully is letting the paint dry in between the layers. And I don't know if you guys can believe it or not, but I totally let the paint dry. Otherwise, you run well, you guys know, you'll make mud, and I will have none of that, please, today on this tag. I do not want mud. So I took my time, I let my colors dry. I'm overlapping the colors, and this is something that over the years I've kind of seen replicated throughout various mediums. Just like when you do collage, you want to overlap your collage elements. It's kind of the same thing in abstract art painting. Not that I'm an expert, this is just, an observation I've made. But overlapping the colors ties everything together. So those blobs are dry, they are overlapped, and now I'm just kind of tying it all together by pulling just little bits of that color into the one that it's laying on top of. Right now, it kind of looks like a hot mess. I totally understand that. But it's the next step that the magic happens. So just like in collage, even though we've overlapped the paint, we kind of need some type of consistency element to tie everything together. And all I'm doing is just dipping the side of an old CVS card into some black paint and creating lines. Typically, when I'm, just arting around, there's not much of a plan or a rhyme or reason, but with the lines, I actually have a plan. I'm very carefully choosing the places where I want the lines. I want angles, I want horizontal and vertical, but I also want to overlap because my goal in all this is to create tiny little boxes that I'm going to eventually paint in with a contrasting color. How many boxes you want is completely up to you, and you can see the overlapping lines are actually making a lot of boxes, but I'm not going to paint in all of them. Well, you'll see in a minute. So while that's drying, I'm going to work on my focal point because this is a Hanukkah tag after all. I stumbled across these really cool artsy candles in the Cricut design space. I cut them out and now I am coloring them in. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me color this in. It's pretty self-explanatory. I am using Dina Wakley acrylic paint in Fuchsia for a really nice bright contrast. Speaking of contrast, I do want to add just a smidge of tangerine in some of those boxes. I only painted in 4 of the boxes because I didn't want to overwhelm my background with all that orange, and you guys know how I feel about orange. Just a heads up on the off chance that somebody decides to try this at home. Take your time and use a tiny brush. It doesn't look as good if you accidentally paint over the lines, like I did. That's okay. So now I am going to create some homemade washi tape. I have that Casual Friday stamp that I've been using all week long. I applied some black acrylic paint over some masking tape, and now I am just stamping with my trusty white Brilliance ink pad using that Star of David stamp from the Casual Friday stamp set. I created the washi tape because I need a base for my candles to sit on. We don't want them looking like they're just floating in space. There's so many harsh lines though, I decided to kind of do like a step down effect with the washi, so I kind of staggered it a little bit and I'm tearing it, and you know what, it's okay that the stars aren't perfectly aligned. See what I did there? Oh my god, that's fantastic. Once I got everything glued down, I am adding my sentiment, which reads, "Be a light," because that is really the overwhelming message of Hanukkah, to be a light that illuminates the darkness. And I think we all could use a little bit of that. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Hey, here's some more videos that you might like, and please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can see more of my content.